Still.
Well, Adroit must have a plan because Chen and Faceless Void have been first phase banned by a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
So if you're giving up both these heroes, you better have a plan.
I think the third ban from Adroit is also another Southeast Asian thing. Is the Magnus?
Yeah.
Magnus has not been very successful in some of our other tournaments, right?
Yeah,
Like 3-position mag has been really poor. Some 4-position mag has been okay, but the Magnus is still really popular in Southeast Asia.
Yep.
That mag PA, mag Juggernaut,
Yeah, I mean,
like those
Fnatic
combo
first
nodes are
picked
still
it
really
earlier
good.
today.
Yeah.
Just outright mag PA. Let's go. Win condition. All right, so we got 2 stuns on one side, and then you've got a Faceless Void and a Chen who sits there with the headdress and heals you a lot.
Well, magical powers and the following bans, very understandable. But you're against EG taking away their Invoker, especially if they have this setup from the Void. And you're EG, you're playing with Void. You do not want to have to deal with the Song of the Siren countering your Chronosphere. So Naga Siren is out.
Yeah, Chaos Knight is like one of those cores that I think really his stock rose very high over the last
Very
month.
quickly too. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it just does a lot of things right, that hero, and it feels just really nice to play right in the lane. You have this ridiculous, you harassed me a bit,
And
my
you
health
heal.
is back up to
Yeah.
full, and I've also taken away
Guaranteed
half your
crit,
health.
yeah.
It feels so nice to lane with that hero.
I
And
play
it's-
Legion Commander against it.
Yeah.
I'm like, my same ability is based off of RNG.
His is
The
always
extra
there.
hit plus lifesteal, yeah, totally RNG. Meanwhile, he gets the guarantee.
Every
Nice.
And he's the one named Chaos, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not bring the lore in.
Let's not.
Oh, Shadow Demon. That's I always love this pick when you have a pretty burst-oriented lineup. So whenever I have something like Sand King, what's another like really burst-heavy offlaner? Centaur. I really like that combination. Tiny is another one. Right, you're just cutting somebody's health down, so the burst damage that you do is like always going to work, even if they get like several bracers or whatever.
And I really like it as well from Adroit. I mean, obviously EG picked the Rubik after they sort of saw this setup, this burst things, but it does mean they have 2 supports that they don't really have any save, right? You know, if someone gets set up by a disruption into one of these combos, they don't really have the defensive measures to get them out of it. At least at the moment, maybe we'll see something sort of slip into one of the core roles that can offer that. But at the moment, you know, Adroit's got the 1-2. You know, that setup and then into the Bloodseeker, they're going to have a lot of chaos, Adroit, that they can just bring onto EG's heroes.
Seems like they are pretty much saying we need to win this early game, though.
I think this is big, though. This is exactly what they're missing, EG. Now they have arguably the best, you know, the best hero to offer the save. You know, he's got the save and he's always going to be able to use it because you can't really take him out of the fight himself because with that ult, he's always going to have the ability to pop a shield out. So I can see what Adroit's going for, but that Abaddon getting in, it messes up that whole flow.
A lot of stuff.
It messes up that flow.
What I also like about the Shadow Demon is it does so many things, right? It's good with Sand King. It sets up the Mirana. And then the third thing is it's a save as well, right? So it's a good save against the Void when these Chronospheres go down. So I think that's a really important point. That's why this hero was banned a lot in the first 3 and at the start of the minor. It started slipping through later on, but at the start of the minor, this was one of your first 3 bans because it just does so much.
Well, last bans. Reasonably quick picking phase. No one's used any of their reserve time this series. They know what they want.
I don't know if they're afraid of it, but I think OD is really strong right now. OD has been picked up a lot against Faceless Void. It's a hero that can just get bursted down because he doesn't have a lot of intelligence. And then it's oftentimes picked up against Abaddon, right? Because his sustained idea just works against you.
There he goes.
Bang on.
Great job, Cap.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So what do they want to pick then? You ban the
God,
OD.
don't push your luck,
Come on,
Grant.
Cap.
Come on.
Keep it going. Go for the 1-2. What's the pick?
Something that's good against these stuns and silences.
Yes.
That's one thing Adroit does have. They've got lockdown. They've got silence. You're obviously not going to want anything crazy. What?
You may not believe me. I was going to say Lena, but Adroit got that. They banned that. So
It was banned before
I was
the
gonna say that
OD.
was banned
Cap.
before the OD.
No. I'm saying Lena because they need damage to throw into the Chronosphere.
Yeah.
So you want that.
Yeah.
You also want heavy burst against Bloodseeker. I think that's nice.
Always good. Yeah.
I'm not sure if like Leshrac is good enough. Maybe Invoker or
They're just going to do not really any burst damage, more of, win your lane. This feels like, honestly, the EG of last year where they kind of just want to win their lanes and do stuff from there.
I mean, it looks good. I think because you've got both of these, with this Ember and Void, that are incredibly mobile. Sure, there is that setup, but just having the Abaddon, having that save, you sort of they've got that one-trick pony, right? They have the disruption into the stun or the arrow. That's the setup to start trying to go on one of these cores. As long as that Aphotic shield's there every time, suddenly the Ember, the Void, they're going to be jumping away, or the Ember's going to be jumping in and out. He's going to be good to fight. He's going to feel very safe.
Ooh, and there's going to be a Slark. So
It's good.
versus Ember, I
Yeah.
assume, right?
I mean, the leash is strong. Very nice against these two heroes again. Something else they do have to worry about. That's sort of another way of catching and locking them down. At the end of the day, Ramses is only going to have so many Aphotic shields to throw around. Maybe Adroit can play this, sort of going on heroes independently and forcing Ramses to make those decisions where he saves one core, but Arbedo, he's in trouble elsewhere.
It does feel like if this Faceless Void misses a chrono, Adroit has a lot of low cooldowns, right? They just want to run at you for this first 30 minutes, or like.
there's also like you have disruption. If you do Chronosphere, you have disruption for the save, and you have this Blood Right you can throw in
like a half save because they want to get out.
Yeah, because then Void's like, am I going to get, do I just want
Burst
to
it
take
after?
this silence?
Yeah.
And then Slark has Shadow Dance that he could potentially get off, which kind of wastes your
Should if he jumps
Chronosphere.
in,
If,
Right?
if he's got those quick fingers, he should get it off each time, yeah.
The last time I think I watched Slark versus Ember Spirit,
It didn't even go that bad for Ember.
yeah,
I remember.
Ember
I think we were
actually
watching
won
game,
that
yeah.
lane, I think, kind of hard, and we were talking about how it wasn't supposed to.
But I guess this will be the real, because we talked about it.
Yeah.
The Mac versus Abed, as I said, I
You
saw
said
people
Max,
saying,
yeah.
well, I mean, I read on Facebook that Mac was like, and we'll see. I'm curious. Obviously, this is the overall last pick, so he got to decide that, like, hey, who do you want to go against Ember?
Yeah, he obviously
says it.
feels,
Yeah.
and to the point where, it's not like Abed doesn't play a lot of Ember Spirit, so he's played against the Abed Ember. He knows what he's going to feel is incredibly strong in that matchup. So,
I like that it also doesn't put them on a timer against Faceless Void.
You have someone who can scale a little bit better late game versus him.
Yeah, whenever I see like the David versus Goliath matchups, I always hate when the Goliath in the matchup has the better late game, like guaranteed. One of those games where it's like, well, if this goes past 30 minutes, they probably won. I always hate that because I feel like the younger team just can't play an entire game perfectly under that kind of.
You're going to make a
conditions,
mistake. The Void will get farm, and then you're in trouble.
And we've got we've got 3 players from Adroit that there's pretty much no background on.
Yeah, they've all played for me about one team, and that's about it.
Yeah.
and of course, the other power of the Slark, similar to what the root of the OD that was banned out, you're gonna have that big juicy Abaddon. If a fight starts going bad
Whack
for EG, suddenly Mac's going to have a bazillion essence shift stacks.
I do like. Ramses changed his mount. What? Ramses had the spider-ish mount. Have you seen that one?
The spider mount?
It's I say spider because it just has extra legs.
What the?
It's
I've
got
not
like
seen
6
that
legs
one.
or something.
No.
It's really weird. It's a little freaky.
I was getting some of the EG lads.
Grant,
cosmetic-
are you pulling it
he's
up for me?
checking it out.
Yeah, I'll look for it.
Yeah. Oh, nothing going to come of this.
Disruption arrow.
Oh, maybe, actually, indeed. With the blood right down, he's in a whole world of trouble. They're blocking him off with the illusion micro, and this should be a first blood for Boomy.
Oh, I forgot one more thing. Shadow Demon's super good versus Abaddon. Oh, there it is.
It's on my screen.
Oh,
You guys
yeah.
won't see it. We'll bring it up
that's
later.
That's
It's
a
real
terrible
weird.
monstrosity.
Yeah.
But now the cosmetic game of EG. Check out that headpiece on Arteezy. That I like to play a lot of Void. I wouldn't. But that's an expensive piece. I think that's about I think it's about $400 at the moment. The perceptions of the Eternal Mind, but he knows how to look good, Artur.
Yeah. But they do end up getting first blood, and now bottom they're trading hits again. See you later.
Damn.
Crit goes down, and we've almost got a killing spree on this Mirana already.
I mean, Boomy, great way to start. Extra bit of gold, and EG already getting heavily pressed on this bottom lane, giving a lot of space to the Bloodseeker, and already Boomy, he's feeling himself. He's straight up top. He wants to start making plays all over the map.
And Kev, you brought it up. They don't have like the complete better late game, but I'd still say Ember Void is probably better than Slark Bloodseeker, right?
Yeah.
Like once you get there.
Yeah, I'm okay. Like you don't have to have better late game as the junior team, but
completely.
just
out.
don't be like, all right, this is a
Single
Drill Ranger
core,
all-in
yeah.
strat, guys. Like, oh no.
Make it happen.
And it's always that feeling, right? There's a Chronosphere, there's 2 melee cores. Chances are you're going to find a fight where you get both inside the Chrono.
Yeah, give yourself forgiveness in your lineup. Don't expect like those perfect games out of your draft where, you know, if you screw up one team fight, then it feels like the game's over. Shadow Demon's really good versus the Batten, by the way, because your illusions have the passive. So you create 2 illusions of a Batten, you almost instantly silence him. And that's a great way to just dismantle him in a team fight. It means he always feels pressured to use Athletic Shield on himself.
Oh, I mean,
Right
yeah,
there,
you're right. It looks disgusting to play against. And Ramses, he's got to be very
Mid lane
Whoa!
back!
Ooh.
It's okay.
I mean, Arbed needed to step at that pressure. As you can see so far, Mac's been playing the lane very nicely. He's getting that lead in the CS and showing why this matchup is considered slightly favored towards the slot.
So the problem in this matchup before when we saw was the fact that the reason it went towards the Ember Spirit, pretty sure the Slark screwed something up, but you can't get rid of Flame Guard, right? As soon as it gets to level 2, you can't get rid of it. So while, yes, you can trade stats with the Ember Spirit, if he has Flame Guard out, you may not actually win the man fight.
Adroit, they're up 2-0, up in the gold lead. Obviously, Chen doesn't really do much. We went for the headdress first and just has a little creep. Adroit,
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Arrowed immediately. That bottle first feeling so good on Mirana.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom, we are going to see a silence. Ramses is going to take a little bit of damage, double silence, but we'll just run.
I mean, for the harassment there has been, Ramses is still able to get at least a good trade of farm with Natsumi, both of them pretty much even on CS, especially with Ramses having this creep wave coming in nice and close towards his tower.
Oh, yeah. Mac is really taking it to Abed in this game. As long as he doesn't screw up and die,
Yeah,
he's doing really well for himself in CS.
He's had, I think, 2 or 3 salves been sprayed out to him, but it's paying off. Yeah, that CS difference.
Yeah.
Certainly warranting the extra regen that he's keeping himself topped up with.
And you go this build when you really just want to dominate 1v1 matchups, the 2 levels and Essence Shift.
Especially versus an Ember.
Yeah, the extra 15 seconds is massive. Because it builds up so much. You just can't be out of lane long enough for it to reset.
Yeah, 4-minute rune, and guess who's there? The Mirana. Bottles it up, refills that full with an Invis rune, so could do something with that.
Yeah, keeping most of the focus on the top lane Boomy at the moment. Still looking for that setup from the Sand King. See if he can snipe someone and just mess around with the way that Fly's trying to regain control of the lane. There's the setup, but a little off with the timing. Doesn't quite catch Arteezy.
And he tried to stop the pull there, but he couldn't. Fly still gets it off. But now he doesn't. Pulls it off.
I mean, Mac just, he goes in, I think that was sort of maybe even the 4th salve. But look at this, as soon as he's working with the timings perfectly, knows where the Flame Guard's gone. You got to consider how much Essence Shift he has stacked up, and I bet he's struggling to play against it. Mac, we saw in the picks, he knew exactly what he wanted from this matchup, and he's playing it perfectly.
Yeah.
Boombox. Yeah, got a little lucky that Arteezy didn't manage to get a bash at any point in time. He was pretty low there.
He still isn't getting any bashes, and he's saving. He's going to deny it
Oh,
with the hill.
he didn't pick it up.
Nice.
Oh, Nutbok. He could have grabbed it.
He could have. Now
He
he'll
could
kill
have
the
grabbed
creep.
it. He's not even going to kill
he's
the
gonna
creep.
deny
The
the
creep gets
creep.
denied.
The deny for the
and
deny
the setup
and-
there. Arbed needed that. A
Dude,
free kill delivered to the mid lane.
Arteezy chased that kill for so long, and Abed just collected it.
Yoink.
I mean, he's having a tough time mid. He needs those kills. He's taking those, no questions asked.
And well, EG takes the gold lead there. They deny a bounty. I mean, they deny a full bounty rune that was guaranteed to the Radiant and then get a kill. Little bit of a mistake there from the Sand King Mirana.
Yeah, and we're just getting greedy, hoping that the Mirana was going to be able to refill the bottle, but man, that cost you a bounty rune.
Yep. And I love it, though. The Mirana goes instantly down bottom just to arrow the catapult. Gets rid of it, makes sure they can't push that wave in. And now you do. You got a Shadow Demon and Mirana roaming together, and they're heading towards middle, but Abed's obviously in the jungle right now. He's heading back middle, though. He'll find a DD rune.
Now you can have Crit heading over, so he's going to be the new focus. They'll turn straight towards him. Setup's there. And Matt comes in as well to grab an extra bit of that permanent essence shift. Excellent. Yep. Excellent for the Slark. His game continues to be totally unfazed. 42 and 18 in this mid lane. There's now Boomy. Won't quite be taken down there by Abed's attempt with the Sleight of Fist.
Cat, what were you on?
Boomy tanked tower shots to keep the siege wagon alive. That is one of those fine lines that Reno dead.
Has he got the damage?
One bash is what's needed.
He needs one Burrow Strike, and that might get him out there. In fact, if he pops the creeps, nah, he tried to. Oh, be careful there, Arteezy. If that was on both of the creeps, he may have just been dead. But he isn't. On the plus, though, Natsumi's. It's going to be speeding around now, thanks to Arteezy being low for a little bit.
Then they pop the shrine.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
He had a few seconds of glory of easy CS.
You ever think, like, never mind.
What were you going to say?
I'm not going to go
Were you going to say something rude?
No, I was going to say, like, have you ever, wanted to taste blood?
I mean...
like a blood seeker,
yeah, but you
a
have.
vampire?
Everyone's tasted blood.
Yeah.
You've had a wound and you've licked it, haven't you?
Especially this guy, because he gets ruptured up. Bloodseeker, he wants him.
So, yeah, Boomy's out. Fly is sort of trapped up here, but with the backup of Ramses, they are going to get forced away. He's got the phase boost, so he's good to run down these heroes. In fact, he's going to continue to try and do so. Will be held back, though, by Natsumi showing his face.
So far, pretty even game. It's 4-2. Kill lead for Radiant, but EG with a small gold lead. Still very even.
It's all about sort of what Mac's able to do with this great
they're
start
beating Mac right now.
Yep, they find him, they lift him, they blast him.
Oh!
He doesn't. Oh, he got him. That AoE.
I was going to say, it looked like he was outside the range of the Remnants, but he wasn't. Abed able to snipe him off the edge of that blast.
And steal an Arcane Rune after that. That's huge. You get the kill on the most important hero, get the rune. That was a nice play. As you said, I love it. Crit's like right next to him, but he's just waiting uphill. They know they don't have a ward.
And I think it's sort of like plays of that, the sort of show, the game so far. Right? Mackey's obviously a very good individual player in terms of that, but when you sort of see those team plays, those sort of those mistakes, that sort of greediness where they don't account for the fact that a support could be in the neighborhood, where you sort of see those moves coming out from EG and outsmarting Adroit.
Oh, and he gets a bash on Arteezy, but Sand King will get his stun stolen. The best skill you can obviously get normally on this Rubik. It is only level 2, but Arteezy will make it out. Ruptured up, needs to be a little careful. Still ruptured, he's running, he does not care. That's a triple leap on top of him. Will they bring him down? Still going, and yeah, they do. Not much he could do right there. They're pressuring bottom, and Arteezy kind of knew he was dead.
Well, that is going to be a tower taken by Evil Geniuses, and I think if they want, they could still defend. They don't have to. They could just keep pressuring bottom and also hit mid tower at the same time. But anytime you get like this kind of tower advantage, where you take a full tower and yours is still completely safe, it is it's like a really big momentum shift, right? Because then you're either able to move like Ramses up to this top lane, protect this tower. Maybe you're able to get a lot of chip damage on mid while the mid laner is rotating. It just all of this kind of snowballs in a way.
And we see, just focused, Abed pulls the creeps off middle, so the creeps will start beating into that tower, and they do defend top. Max up here, but not really just free kills. They're looking for these 10-minute runes instead, and will they get one stolen? Yep, Sand King will get one of them bottom, so it'll be a 3-for-1 rune exchange for the Radiant. Get a little bit of that gold going their way. There's going to be all the books being bought up. So where's Mac up top? He wants to beat into that ABBA, but not much he can do with those phase boots windlace. He's trying.
Yeah, I mean, you can take quite a bit away from Ramses here, but there's a movement coming in, though, from Crit. Just to make sure that Mac doesn't get too comfortable on this top lane.
Waiting. This Mirana thought he was going to arrow that siege unit middle, but he hasn't yet. Yeah, they just leap away.
I do like the fact that Adroit don't try and force that tower against the Abaddon. I think that would have led to a bad fight, where they would have gone on the Abaddon and EG would have rotated over and like Chronosphered and won that engagement. I think it's better just to keep the Slark in the lane against Abaddon and force him out. because Evil Geniuses wants you to overcommit right now.
And yeah, they're playing it very calm. It does feel very much like they haven't really lost their game plan of last year, right? It's the same. They just do the play. They really do. They just play their 3 lanes. They farm up individually, and they just straight out farm you, like as a team. And it worked a little bit for them last year. It's not the whole thing.
Oh, they'll get themselves grouped up to make a go onto Bok. Bok's able to get the Sandstorm and Burst Strike counter with a great Blood Bright setup. Natsumi silences the 2 of them. Arbed's in trouble. He's straight up dead. Backups coming in for Adroit as they'll try.
Oh, no!
He turns with the Centaurs, takes the double kill. They're not done yet. The Chrono's up. Arteezy's going to be able to lock down Boomy. CML will be able to provide some sort of safety, at least for a little bit with the disruption. He still has the Moonlight Shadow Boomy to get himself away, as he will manage to escape there. But Fly picking up a great trade for EG. They may have lost their mid, but Fly, he'll rack up the gold and XP for that with that Centaur double kill.
Yeah, no, it looked like it was just like the fight was over there, and then Crit and Fly are just there, and the 2 supports. They really do just clean up. And then Arteezy's Chrono doesn't even do anything, but you still won the fight.
You got to be aware of the overlapping Sandstorms.
Yeah.
I think that was just one of those things. I don't think Bocarino played very good attention to, like, the Sandstorm was stolen and that he was sitting in the AoE.
Taking so much damage.
Yeah, and Natsumi also, like, playing into that fight, going for the Chen, not a great idea underneath Sandstorm, which does so much damage.
Oh, Mac, he's hungry. He's looking for some kills. He's straight in onto Crit. Crit's got the help of Ramses, but it's not enough. The Blood Bright's down. Ramses forced to the side. He's got the ult, but
shouldn't he run?
I was going to say, he's got to be a little careful if he wants to try and heal up as much as he can whilst that ult's pop. Now his shield is out. He's also got the purple ancient creeps to deal with. Bok, he's going to try and go for some damage with the epicenter, but with the Burst Strike, he decides against going in. He says, we're out, we're stopping the fight, and they will manage to get everyone else out of there, Adroit.
All right, not bad. You get Crit, you slow him down. Obviously, top lane Arteezy's farming, but you have to play quick right now as raiding. You got a Bloodseeker, you've got a Sand King Mirana. You just want to be getting pickoffs everywhere. And they're trying to.
Let's see, Bocarino. Once they get Blink Dagger, I think they'll have a decent chance of being able to force a fight around mid and taking that tower. But until that happens, I think their struggle is going to be shutting down Abed. Right? Because if they don't actually kill Abed, then Abed so easily defends the tower.
We're seeing he has Phase Boots, Drum Bottle on this Ember. He's farming the jungle, farming bottom lane, and they're just 4-manning middle while Abed farms. Obviously, he can always get back. He has that Remnant middle. They have a Chen as well. They can pretty much just always play 4v5 and turn it into a 5v5.
I mean, they're going to try and start stemming off the back of Matt coming in with the Moonlight Shadow. Arbed's quick to jump on him. He's trying to finish off Crit. Crit's able to get away. The Blood Bright's down. They'll lock down 1. Chrono's going to be popped out. Arteezy trying to look to turn this around. They'll focus down the first Sand King at the front of it all, and now they can look to try and chase him for more as Adroit. They've got to back off. They've got to be careful. Ramses, he's on top of CML. He's trapped in the trees. Arteezy jumps in, picks up the double kill. The rest of Adroit still thinking about going back in fact, with the setup there. It's not quite timed perfectly. The Blood Bright was not early enough. So now Natsumi, he's put himself in a dangerous position and he'll pay with his life as the Bloodseeker falls. Max got to get out of there. Does have Pounce back up to jump across the trees, but Abed, he's still hunting. Slight and Chains will clip onto Boomy, but they won't dive in for any more. EG, though, getting a great fight sort of handed to them as Adroit try and fight in. Arteezy was ready with the Chronosphere. He's able to turn things around, bound by the bounty rune though. Bok, he's got a bit of a surprise for Crit as he waits there with the epicenter, takes his life.
Damn, you rarely see that though. Adroit has 10 kills, Crit is 5 of them. He's 50% of their deaths. And Crit, he's one of the greediest 4 players in the game, and he is having a lot of these kind of weird deaths around the map.
Meanwhile, Fly, he's just rushing straight into the mech. Some classic Chen gameplay here. No boots.
No need.
No need.
You're just going to stand around. You don't care if you die. You're just sitting there healing. Oh, Mac will run into the Ember and the Ab up here.
Still has a lot of stats stolen, so that's... I think he's playing so aggressively because he feels really strong, but the stats will fade now. Almost has Diffusal Blade. This will be a really big peak for them. Blink Dagger on Sand King, Diffusal Blade soon, and Nothing close for Bloodseeker.
So then it's a less than 1,000 gold lead. Adroit is in the lead. When do you start worrying about this Faceless Void? Or do you think you have options for him throughout the game and it's not really like, as long as your Shadow Demon's outside or something, you don't have to really worry? Or when he gets BKB, is he just a problem?
BKB is definitely going to be a really big peak for Evil Geniuses. That being said, I don't think it's in... Like, Adroit can always win fights in any stage of the game. It just gets significantly harder once BKBs are up. Because they just have, like, such clear damage. Level 20 is going to be another big one for RTZ as well. So they definitely... If you're Adroit, you are wishing that last team fight, like ideally in the game plan, that last team fight went your way and you were able to take mid tower by now and you start taking over the enemy jungle a little bit more.
Man, this is the most wards I've seen. I'm looking at the mini map and I've seen a lot of sentries out, but there's just a lot of regular observer wards not getting countered. Almost 4 from each team are just up. It is. Holy smokes, 5 from the Radiant actually. There's a lot of wards.
It's a little surprising that EG's wards have been so successful against Slark.
It's super funny because at the minor, there's like just 20 sentries on them, no observers. This game, it's actually just pure observer wards. No one really caring about them de-warding.
Maybe there's some sort of gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't touch our wards, we won't touch yours.
Won't touch yours. The one they try to get. There's a stun.
Oh, the smoke though coming in from EG.
I think they're going to be able to burst up any time, or maybe not. The hand of God heal
man.
is safe. How about he's fine? Flame Guard's popped, and they can turn around, jump forward onto Bok. The rest of Adroit having to make a quick escape. They will get everybody else far enough away.
Dude, holy shit. I'm not sure if I've seen a better timed smoke interception like that. That was the full squad rolling up just in time to say Abed. They get that fight at top lane. Now they're going to get the kill on Natsumi as well.
Yeah, very quick sort of plays there from EG. Well, Natsumi feeling confident in the mid after seeing that whole sort of fight go down up top. But
you don't realize
EG
how
were quick.
quick.
They play very, very quick there with that move to mid. Catching out the Bloodseeker.
Now you do have this defusal on Slark, so if you see any of those supports, he is going to be feeding a lot more than even normal. And we actually saw this at the summit. I remember Ryoya talked about it. He didn't really like the drums before defusal because of how slow it made you on the Slark. I don't know if it's like similar to this game. I feel like he does need the stats this time though, right? Like you can't just be running into a Void Ember without stats.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, especially the Ember Spirit, right? So much AoE burst damage when you triple remnants on you.
Oh.
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 Whoa.
He knew. He saw.
Fly just kept going. No cares. Has all his magic resistance creeps. They have a full Vlad's on Ramses. They have a medallion. They've got the mech. They're getting their auras up. Meanwhile, Saiyan King, he still has that veil blink. He's looking around.
His Bloodseeker's gonna start falling off really hard.
Yeah, especially this build. No Midas, no Maelstrom. You're going drums into BKB. You are pretty much committed to win during this like BKB timing, it feels like. Because you're not going to scale. And I think that's why we see EG's just okay. They're farming, what, 4 different spots on the map? They know. At this point, after looking at the items, they're like, we just scale better.
Dude, I really need Mac to find this ward.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they have
These
Slark.
wards. Yeah, these wards
That's
have
why
been
you said that,
surviving
yeah.
way too long.
Interesting. There's the 25 damage talent taken on Ember, so a little bit of burst. And they're moving up top. Nothing crazy going on yet. How powerful do you guys think Solar Crest is, like as an item? Just random thought.
It's not a must-build item anymore.
Okay.
It's like a must-build for like we should have one by 35 minutes, but it's no longer every offlaner is going to rush this item.
Yeah. Okay, into Roche they go. Medallion plus Abba. Sandstorm stolen from Crit, so you can't just walk in and take an easy fight. This looks to be a pretty free Roche.
Yeah, they're not seeming to have any indication to come over it. And I mean,
if he blood rides, maybe.
I think it's still hard though.
Okay.
If Arteezy can sort of play on the edge, he's going to stay. Oh no, it's
Arrow,
actually
arrow,
caught
arrow!
by the
Oh my god, it
silence.
hits Arteezy. They need to make something happen.
They're trying to get him with the epi, but he was unable. I believe he got caught by the sleight of fist, so he couldn't get the blink combo off Bok. Abed able to keep the Sand King outside of the pit, meaning that with the BKB popped, Arteezy can finish off the Roche, grab the Aegis. He still has the Chrono, so he can look for a fight after taking down Roshan, as Bok will be left in the river. As EG's starting to pick up the objectives.
Yep. Now's the real scary time. Arteezy's going to play with no fear. You're against a Chen and an Abba. Pretty much whoever you go on is just going to get saved. I mean, you talked about this Abba, Owen, like the entire draft. Like, he messes with everything, and he does. Like, it feels like, how do you burst someone on Dire now?
It's definitely going to be tough. A lot of this has to come down to CML's positioning in fights. He has to disrupt the Abad.
Yeah. And they miss the silence timing again. They're going to look for Crit, though.
Yeah, Max trying to go in, but there's your Chrono out. Arteezy with the setup. The rest of EG coming in to try and finish up the kill. The stolen Burrow Strike from Crit gets him in underneath the Max Slark. Slark falls. EG starting to take pretty much every single fight in their favor now. It's proving very hard for Adroit to get the job done.
Boy, that fight was just a terrible idea. I mean, think about it. They're leading with Disruption. Their only save against Chronosphere. To go on a hero that has Aegis.
That's a tough kill.
You don't have Shadow Dance on Slark. Like, there's just like, fundamentally, there's some poor decision making in that, right?
And it's tough, right? That's what we talked about. You are the super young team. You see Arteezy a little bit alone, and it's just not enough, unfortunately. And they're gonna lose this tier 2 tower top as well. Now the buildings are just gonna fall. There's the BKB on Bloodseeker. The only problem is he doesn't have a damage item with it. They're gonna try to come behind though.
He's sort of a nice hard silence, that's about it. But Bok he's got a great setup for that silence with the Burrow Strike. Silence out onto two of them. And look to try and focus down the Chen first. Go for the easy kill, now try and turn for the bigger ones. BKB's popped. They're staying on top of Abed. Abed, he's got no way to jump out of this. It's a double kill for Mac. The EG's got to get away. They'll go for the TP out and Arteezy with the BKB up. There's nothing to cancel it through it, so he'll escape. But Adroit able to strike in there with a fantastic wraparound from Bok, getting that setup and causing them to lose not only the champion, just losing the Abed Ember Spirit as well. He was not prepared with Remnants to play his way out of that.
So for me, this game is a really big test for CML. You don't really get an opportunity to see how good 5 positions are often. But this game, it's such a good Shadow Demon game, and there's so many little things you can do right. I think Shadow Demon is one of those heroes. Oracle is another one where there's so many different decision-making trees that you can go down that it really shows the strength of their individual skill. This game, he needs to look for disruptions on Abad. He needs to be out of position to be able to disrupt save against Chronosphere. He also needs to be able to purge the Ember Spirit. That's going to be another one of those big ones, right? Because it takes away his Flame Guard, and it also slows down his Remnant cast.
He got
right? The Remnant runs really slow. So it makes him much less mobile.
I mean, so sort of as the Shadow Demon, do you expect to see him, for the most part, go for sort of that lead-in with the disruption, or do you think there is, as you say, more value to sort of hold it back and keep it defensively? Like, where's the greater value in the most of the fights?
I mean, every fight is a little bit different, but...
Arteezy, sorry, he whipped it. Sand King went down, he went up, and he just committed a chrono for nothing.
Oh.
Not even close.
I think for the most part, Owen, to answer your question, he's like the second wave in, where you want to be able to basically run in and catch the Abaddon. If you're initiating on someone, you're trying to follow that up to stop the Abaddon from saving that person with a Aphotic Shield. But if you're being gone on, obviously he needs to be the one playing a little bit.
You got to get it out at least.
But yeah, like the whole point I was trying to make is the fact that this decision tree is not easy, and that's why I think it's a really good showing for a 5 position.
There we have. EG has been found inside the jungle. Ramsey's trying to get himself away. Demonic Purge from CML slowing him down. They won't overextend, but they do know that there is... They wouldn't have seen the chrono, right? So they don't know.
They do not know.
They do not know there's no chrono. They might start to figure it out if they see it not being utilized at all. They're fighting confidently around the shrine. Bok He's going to be saved for now by CML with that disruption, but they'll surround him, EG, take out the Sand King. Now they'll start to jump over for more. Boomy's got a leap to get himself away. As for sure, there's definitely the confusion there from Adroit. Like, you could sort of see that they felt that, like, hang on, he's not dropping the chrono. He hasn't got it, but at the same time, they don't really want to push their luck too far. Because what if he does, and he does still have that Aegis? So it's still a tricky fight. They only lose the Sand King there, so all things said and done, that's not a bad disengage from Adroit.
Yeah, it's not. They will lose another tower. It is a 2K lead, but I feel like this next fight really matters because, I mean, the first fight, right, they got a BKB on the Bloodseeker, and they went right in. I love it. You get an item, you just take a fight, but now, I mean, you lose one fight against the Dire, and they're probably just going to be taking your base at this point. They have a Chen, they have a Void, they have an Abba. You got to be very careful. Now it feels like, look at Radiance, they're stuck on their side of the map, and as a Mirana, that does not feel good.
And both Slark and Bloodseeker are kind of the same hero in 5v5 fights. They feel very weak when they're behind, when it comes to the 5-man, right? Because if EG stay clustered up, Slark and Bloodseeker don't feel good about running into that ball, right? That last fight, it was pretty much them just surrounding the Sand King.
Yeah.
Everyone was healthy on Adroit, but none of them felt like they can go in and really take the engagement.
Because they just do their one thing.
Yeah, they're both kind of like assassin-type heroes that want to play the fight in and out. So that kind of overlap in what they both kind of do is a bit of a problem for them.
Ooh. They leap, they look for the Ember, but aren't quite quick enough.
Yeah, we're seeing as well with Max Sighton build. He is very much prepared, but with that Manta style, it's sort of what a must against a Void. A well-timed dilation can really ruin your game as a Slark. Top lane, Natsumi. He's going to put the BKB. They do have a chrono if they want to try and commit it, and they will. RT's not messing around. He did. He caught the double.
Nice.
Gets himself a bit of a bonus on the edge of it, but hang on, Bok, he's ready to jump, Wooler to commit, but Arteezy still has the BKB ready to pop, turns towards Bok. It's just another kill handed towards the Void. Jump in, looking for Mac back, able to get the Shadow Dance off, but the time dilation did hit him, so he won't have any further Dark Packs or pounces as he's already used the Manta. 4 heroes dead on Adroit.
And they might think about pushing your base here with this Abba Void. I'd be...
I mean, that was a lot of questionable plays there, right? You lose 2 heroes, then Bok still trying to make something happen, going in on that. That is not a great fight to pick. It cost them heavily. And as you guys were just mentioning, you lose a fight, you're going to take some heavy damage to the base against this lineup.
Yeah, they're losing. They're probably going to lose a full set of racks, I think. And that's rough. And that's the thing, you pick such an aggressive lineup, and you do. You get the first 2 kills on your Mirana, has a pretty good time, but eventually you're just going to get out-farmed. They'll lose the melee racks, but back out, keep the range going alive. Faceless Void, 2.9k gold on RTZ. See what he wants to get.
Yeah, they're getting their level 3 ultimates and soon level 20 talents, which there are some big ones. Sabaton also has, you know, the Solar Crest Flats that he's had for a while, and I think he has another item floating in, which he's going to go pipe.
That's a full hood. Yeah, he's a tanky boy now.
So again, it just like the band's a big problem, right? Oh, and you pointed out like it's going to be problematic for you to be able to burst this, you know, one person down. You won't be able to chain stun him as well. And then he also becomes a problem in that concept of he plays really well against these assassin-type heroes who don't feel comfortable knowing that they can't burst somebody down, that they just can't go in, commit to somebody knowing that they're going to kill him because he gets so many good teamfight items, right? The Vlads, the Solar Crest, and soon to be the Pipe. I mean, that's just going to negate Sand King's entire damage. It always feels that way. When you're playing Sand King, somebody picks up an early Pipe, you're just like, well, that's my contribution to a team fight, just gone. And if he can't contribute to a team fight, if he can't make somebody low, then Bloodseeker doesn't feel good about taking the fight. And if Bloodseeker doesn't feel good taking the fight, then who's creating the space for the Slark to be able to do anything?
No, I mean, that's very true. No, we're not seeing this Bloodseeker.
It's over.
It's over. No one. God damn.
He doesn't get to run around at all, this Bloodseeker. When have we seen him zooming around anyway?
Literally, the first BKB fight, he was just in, zoom, they won a fight, and then that was it.
Everyone's just got HP. They're always topped up on EG's lineup now.
Dude, Chen. What a hero.
Once he was a zoomer, now
there's
he's a
no boomer.
Zoomer to boomer.
Do you guys think, I don't know. I feel weird seeing Coddle banned, not Chen banned. I feel if you're going to ban one of the broken 5s, you ban both. Not broken, I should say. The two best 5s, right?
They're the boomers of Dota, right? They're probably the old. Are they the oldest heroes in the game?
They probably are, yeah. Chen, he's a pretty old guy.
Yeah,
Coddle, he's
Chen's
older than Eternity
probably
itself.
in his, late 40s. Cottle's like, how old's Cottle?
Wait. I heard a little Grant lore sneaking out there. So Coddle's older than Eternity itself?
I can't confirm or deny, but I can confirm that he is. So apparently I can. And he got the Mirana. The wings are flying!
Fly away! Oh, no!
He couldn't.
He got 2, and then he got 3.
Oh,
thanks to
my
Bot.
goodness.
It's all falling apart for Adroit.
It really is. And they'll get middle lane. They're pressuring as well. I love it. Oh, he's going to silence himself, as you say, with these ABBA illusions, though. Gotcha. It is such a cool thing, but it feels so useless late. When you're in a down game, I mean, I guess it'd still be good if you're ahead, but when you're down, like, he just doesn't care.
Yeah. It feels sick when you're ahead, right? Because if you're ahead, usually you're the one starting the fights anyway, and then you're just able to, as the Shadow Demon with like Blink Dagger, Force Staff, like have the positioning to intercept the bat, to stop him from getting a Photic Shield off, and silence him in the fight, which makes him feel terrible. But now it's
a beatdown now.
Yeah.
They're going to look to take another set of racks here middle, and there's not much they knew. Shadow Demon could buy back in 40, and he will. So everyone's alive, and they're just going to back it up. No reason to overextend if you're Dire. Full Guardian Greaves on the Chen in stash.
And Roshan's there for the taking. They want to make their road to victory a little smoother. Adroit are going to strike back offensively, though. Looking to jump in. In fact, they catch Arteezy with the setup. Do they have enough follow-up with the silence? The hand have got to heal. The BKB's out with the time walk. He's back up to full. And now Arteezy can turn. Box trying to commit with the Burrow Strike and the Epicenter. Is it enough damage? He's back in with another stun onto Arteezy. Arteezy will fall. They've killed off the Void, but Mac taken out by Abed Demba. And the rest of Adroit trying their best to get out of there, but Ramsey's crit and Abed will kill off another. CML to fall as they'll buy back on Bot. Arteezy's going to buy back himself.
He knows Roche.
Yeah, the only one to go down on EG, knows that they're still in an incredibly strong advantage.
And I'm surprised. I think
but if he dies now,
yes, it's a lot.
If he dies now,
I thought he literally bought back just to go and get the agent. But they're not even taking it.
Now that is a dieback. Or a die
That's a bad one.
Is
yeah.
it? Yeah,
that was a good
die block.
I never actually thought, like, not this. No, this
All
block's
right.
great.
What we got?
Go on.
Here's the game-winning situation.
What's he gonna do?
Boomy comes in, takes the Aegis. Then the buyback from Arteezy
Here we go.
is completely exposed.
If he does this, Grant, what would you do?
I will chug this monster.
Well, not out this.
Well,
that's
oh
off
my
the TP.
God. They have a chance.
Oh.
Ramses can't go back to base to get his pipe now. He'll have to fly down like a pleb, and he left it in his stash. The chicken's full.
They're
chicken's
crumbling.
Full. He's not going to know.
The chicken is full.
It's completely full.
No.
This is the comeback advantage when you have too many items to put it onto the courier.
They can't do it.
Oh, no.
Everyone said this is the snowball meta.
They lied. Oh, they're losing a rat.
They didn't understand the wisdom of Ice Frog, who only allows 9 slots on a courier.
God, they are going to finally bring down this other middle rack. Arteezy, no cares, has an Aegis, could just go bottom. He'll go bottom. Oh, thanks to Chrono. Oh, that's a kill. I don't think you're living here.
And that's all he needed to Chrono. Just the one will do it.
Yep.
Slark gone without buyback. Very little that Adroit can pull together to build some sort of a defense now. 17k down, dying in the fountain there as Abed stars with them. GG is cold, and EG will take game 1 of his best to 3.
Okay.
I mean, it looked not too bad for Adroit at the start, right? I guess it's another one of those classic situations. Some great individual players, some fantastic mechanics for the lanes, but when it comes to playing the game as a team, lots of mistakes, and EG looking very, very sort of clean and sort of professional.
Yeah, and I think that it goes back to the draft, right? If you're on Radiant, you know you have the quicker draft, you want to play fast, but if you just make one mistake, as we saw, you lose one team fight you're supposed to win, now you're on your back foot against a team that's, they've got major winners on it. They've got
some big
people who
names.
go to every TI. It's hard. They're not going to make these little mistakes like, oh, we rotated 4 people bottom. No one's farming. They always have someone farming. It's hard to make a mistake against a team that knows how to play.
Yeah, I think that Adroit, decent showing in their first 10 minutes. I don't think the draft was terrible. I think maybe the Bloodseeker was the misstep. I think Slark was okay, especially the way that Mac handled Abed mid. I think that was fantastic. So I think maybe Bloodseeker was the biggest misstep. Maybe the other misstep is giving away Chen.
I'll
always agree with that.
Do you think was there much of a fault in them going for sort of that whole Sand King, Mirana, Shadow Demon when there was an Abaddon still in the pool, or do you think you could still play that sort of style against an Abaddon? It doesn't.
I think you can kind of still play that style against Abaddon, but it is hard. I think part of it is that they think they had an answer to Chen in a way with Sand King Mirana, which in the laning phase you're not affected by Chen very much, and then you can kill his neutral creeps and stuff like that. And I think they thought they had an answer to Abaddon in part with this Shadow Demon. Again, I don't really think there was any big egregious errors in drafting or necessarily in play. There was that one where they went on Arteezy with Aegis with Disruption. Yeah. That was a pretty bad play, but it already felt like
they were behind.
Yeah, they were just desperate, and that's understandable. So I honestly don't think there was anything that really this is a garbage tier 3 team versus a tier 1 team. I don't think there was anything like that. It was just small little things.
You could see this saying game 2, say Adroit gets a clear draft advantage, they could take a game.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Easily, Owen. Easily. There's a reason they're at the major, and they beat some other teams in that qualifier.
Other teams.
Yep.
Get wrecked. Other teams.
Yeah, other teams. Geek fam, you're already out, so I didn't want to harp on it, and a little bit of a bully move there. But the other teams, you know what? I'll tell you about them after this short break. When we get back, it will be EG versus Adroit, game number 2. So stick around, chumps.
Chumps?